Look at that. That is the wondrous and beautiful city of Austin, Texas. Unfortunately, we do not have our super bitchin' mics because they are in what do you call that? A suitcase that still needs to be delivered to us.
All right. I'm going to interrupt you this week and start the show off properly, just like our friend Liz would want. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Doctales with Cocktails. If you're just tuning in and you're going, who is this joker talking from his hotel room? I'm May Heinmarsh. This is Tim, and we are the hosts of BS for EMD. And we also have fun doing Doctales with Cocktails, usually once a week, bringing you goofy stories, tales, escapades. And if we're on location, as we are tonight, we are bringing you the cocktail location and sharing a little about our adventures. We are here it's actually smoky Austin. We're not quite sure. We haven't figured out why it's so smoky. Our little research assistant producer over here, maybe she can find out why it's so smoky in the vicinity. But I'm thinking maybe they're burning all the oil fields down. A few adventures on the way. No luggage. And so that means, well, either shopping or we're going to go have to buy a bunch of deodorant. I'll have to borrow some clothes.
Be entirely encased in Lumi.
That would be a great ad and sponsor to have for an episode like this, where you could get to your destination, hand wash your clothes, and just smother yourself in Lumi for the whole weekend, and not need to get any new wardrobe. What do you think?
Can you figure out what she sent? Because I can't see anything on that. Yes, that would be a really good ad. Never need clothes, never need a bath. Just buy a gigantic
and then I think
pile
your
of
family will send you down to the homeless bum camp on the corner of the street.
Yeah, there's some there is much less homeless bum camps here.
So we are here in Austin for a 5-day extravaganza because it is, well, not only is it Mother's Day weekend and no one in the family remembered until I reminded them, right? But it's graduation, college graduation, celebrating our daughter who likes to remain anonymous. We've talked about before.
Gee, I wonder why.
See her on this show. Well, we're super proud of her.
Hook 'em horns.
And
UT.
Now
she went to exactly 0 football games because she was studying all the time. So that's nothing wrong with that.
No, but now I think we are cutting off the children of all financial aid, which means maybe we can retire now. So we're celebrating after almost 33 years of marriage. 32. Well, it feels like 33. Financially free from the children.
Feels like unless 330. Is that what you said? Feels like.
Anyway. All right. So flight was fine. No clothes. No.
Yeah. So hopefully while we're doing this, there's a knock on the door and somebody brings us our stuff. That would be really awesome. It's amazing how much separation anxiety you get with underwear.
There you go.
It's odd.
You can also do an ad for Tommy John's.
I could. Because if I have to go buy, I don't want to buy anything but that.
I don't think they're going to deliver to you here. And I'm also not going to share what I'm wearing. How about that? Because I
think they're going to deliver it here.
The Tommy John's?
No, the suitcase full of Tommy John's. This is like one continuous advertisement for people that don't pay us. That's awesome.
So it's not smoke. It's particulate matter.
Oh,
it's
apparently.
Okay.
If you didn't hear that, it's not smoke.
It's particulate matter.
From what?
Which, do you know what smoke is? Particulate matter.
Smell like smoke, look like smoke.
It's like, it's not bullshit. It's horse shit.
Maybe we're in China. We need to break out the masks because of the smoke. It is pretty, I don't know, it seems smoky.
Okay. You almost triggered me right there.
I hate that word.
You almost.
Just as much as the O
No, you
word.
did. Because I think we're going to start this off with every time I go to an airport. So I've been working really, really, really hard on trying to find praiseworthy things in other people and being less judgy. And apparently, by my own judgments, I'm failing.
Well, and that means what? So our producer Mitch gets to stop making those promo videos.
No.
He's so excited about where you were ranting about Canada.
So we haven't, last time I traveled was in January by myself. I went skiing. And then, every time, man, it's weird. Like when May and I go traveling, we go, you spend a fair bit of time in airports. And airports are open season on yoga pants. And we've seen, and then as soon as we landed in Texas, we realized there's a new level of yoga pants. It's not yoga pants, it's cycling shorts and a sports bra. And somehow that's appropriate attire to walk around in public.
So it started before Texas. It started in your favorite airport now.
Charlotte. Which we might get to.
So
it's my favorite airport.
You guys need to look up Charlotte Airport. What are the initials? And then
I'll get there.
And then
just
leave it at that, and they'll figure it out and see if anybody can comment.
You can figure it out
below, or if they've already tuned out. So it started there. I noticed when we were waiting there to board the connecting flight. Yoga pants are comfortable. I get traveling in yoga pants. I've done it. But I'm thinking, this is a whole next level. It's the bike shorts, yoga pants, cut off shorts, sports bra. I would call it a sports bra, yoga top. And that's it. Like, it's getting
like I kind of double take that this one woman, she looks at me with the F are you looking at eyes. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking at somebody that thinks they're in the gym and they're walking around with 1,500 other people.
I think
and you're carrying a Starbucks. Like, am I just an old dweeb? Like, come on. Like,
I think what you need to do is put that Texas hat on, your Speedos, and a pair of
cowboy boots.
No, get the Harley boots. That would be better. And walk around like that in the airport. I bet you would get on the news.
No shirt.
That would go viral.
Harley boots.
That would go viral.
Cowboy hat and mini kilt.
That would be better than the
and
Speedo.
Mini kilt. Yes, that would be good.
That would go viral.
But you know what they say?
We could do that for the way back. And a Stanley Cup in one hand.
Yes.
What do you think? Maybe not.
Full of bourbon. Chock full with a liter of bourbon.
Would you do that on a dare?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay, over
Internet,
there. Let's start
100%.
researching where we can
Mini
get them a kilt.
kilts. So,
and you can see why our children don't want to come on the show.
So, dude, that would be so fun.
Oh my gosh.
I think what I'm going to wear though is I'm not going to be entirely topless. I'm going to have my kilt on and suspenders and the big freaking boots and the cowboy hat and the sunglasses and the Stanley Cup full of bourbon. I think that is the trifecta or quad factor. That right there, that is the new look. I'm gonna wear it proud, man.
You want a mini kilt?
Yes, a mini kilt.
You can get one on Temu.
A mini kilt. We could probably have it delivered before the weekend
is
over. You can probably go into graduation in the mini kilt because our other stuff is not going to be here. Yes. I'll shop at, I don't know,
But you know what they say.
Taylor, you can shop.
The mini kilt store. You know what they say. You know what they say about yoga pants, though, right? There's three things in life that never lie. Drunk people,
Speedos,
toddlers, and yoga pants.
I was going to say Speedos.
And that's the truest statement. The kilt, though, can, it hides more. It hides more.
It does.
That's a good one. Kilt, suspenders, boots, and yes, I'm digging that.
Well, let's get right to this part first, and then we'll get onto the whole history of Texas. But while we're here, this is what we are imbibing on: Tito's handmade vodka, because it actually comes from Texas.
No, it actually comes from Austin. And the guy that started it,
yes,
his name is
Austin is in Texas.
His name is, it's Tito's Vodka. What's his name? Bert Beverage.
So why don't you tell a little bit about
You cannot make this up. Bert Tito Beverage basically started out by experimenting with flavoring vodkas back in the early 90s. And then he tried to sell them to liquor stores. And they're like, nah, flavored vodkas BS. And I'm like, really? Now it's like what, like a $15 trillion a year business? But that's besides the point. So the liquor stores told them, they said, if you can make a vodka that's clean enough that you can drink straight, I could sell the absolute stink out of that.
That's gluten-free.
Yeah. Okay. So Tito
He did the eye roll.
takes corn and he knows basically nothing about distilling. He knows nothing about distilling laws, which at that point were basically you had to be a big distiller and certain, and he got he helped rewrite the laws. He figured all the stuff out himself, and then he had to finance it, and he didn't have financing. And what bank is this going to give? I'm going to start distilling. What do you know about it? Nothing. Well, can you do it? No, I'm changing the laws. So he maxed out 19 credit cards.
Oh, so is that what you want to do to grow the BS for MD business?
But no, I just want to bankrupt our children. But he maxed out 19
their inheritance.
He maxed out 19 credit cards to do this, and then worked night and day, and eventually, he got a product he really liked, and then he, what do they call that? Bootstrapped it to all these different,
pretty
bars.
cool.
And it's a really great story.
Or totally organically grown, as you say.
So Tito, totally, it's a completely organic business, which is really cool. And good for Burt Beverage, Burt Tito Beverage. Like, how do you have your last name Beverage and not like own a distillery? Like, it'd be like that's like biblical. You have to have a distillery if your last name's Beverage.
That's funny. Actually, now that you say that, I do remember someone where I grew up, that was their last name.
Same with me.
But he worked at the mine. No beverages.
He was a miner. Oh, when they got done mining, there was lots of beverages. I guarantee you that.
Yes. Any other fun facts about Austin?
Well, Austin is named after Stephen Austin.
Really?
Yes. And so Texas is interesting because it's its own republic. It was the Republic of Texas. It was kind of its own country. And then there was kind of this battling between Texas and the United States and Mexico and whatnot over Texas. And so when the Mexican-American wars were going on, they tried to move the capital to Houston. And these guys wanted to maintain the legacy of Stephen Austin. So they actually hijacked the archives, like the laws and whatever, all the government documents, and kept them in Austin. So they had to move the capital back to Austin. So it's legitimately been the capital of Texas before Texas was part of the United States. So it's always been the capital, which is interesting because, like, you look at Arizona, and when Arizona was Arizona Territory, it was Prescott because it was right in the middle of the state, and it was cooler. And then eventually they moved it to Phoenix. Mm-hmm. So that's really common where you kind of move stuff around, whereas not in Tejas. It has been Austin the entire time. So, yes, the Titos, the Austin.
Did you bring your Texas hat to wear to grad?
No, I didn't bring any.
Well, that's disappointing.
No, it's too hard to bring cowboy hats. They get destroyed. You have to put them in a hat box.
No, that hat that you have is so hard. You could sit on it as a booster seat in the plane, and nothing would happen to it.
Well, I would need it as a booster seat.
And you almost needed a booster. Kidding. Didn't quite need a booster seat in the plane. What else was I going to have you mention?
Did you want to talk about what's on the show tomorrow?
Yes, I was going to say Truth Bomb didn't drop this week.
It's a good rerun.
So it's a rerun, not a new one. I was going to share the shout outs that we got this week because I thought it was so fun.
Yes, they are awesome. I'm finally at the stage in my life when people criticize the living hell out of me. I think it's really funny, like really funny.
Listen to this
because it's entirely true, but it's really funny.
We love your letters, and so this one comes from V. I'll just call her V. She says, I have some, it starts off and she says, Dear May, I have some MDs for you to interview to help you tell your husband that he is full of BS pertaining to his stomping all over your vegan movie twin study episode. And so she goes on to say she listens to a podcast yesterday with a physician exploring small studies that are 100% showing improvements, and that small studies with people still are not, I'm not going to say statistically significant, but significant. Anyway, she goes on and shares some information about these and health, and we're going to look into those, but this is how it ends. I love it. Talks about Dr. Paul Saladino, who we obviously know of, and his work debunking crap studies, vegan diets, etc. And she says, "May I'm with you. My husband stomps all over my stories too. And one of my most used phrases is, and I think I'll adopt this, is, if you'd let me finish." Well, as you know, sometimes if you can't get a word in edgewise and you don't get to finish, just do what I did last week. And you just walk away.
Walk away. Yeah.
Anyway, so we appreciate you
yes.
writing.
So-
that was pretty fun.
So let's talk.
No, we're not talking about the study again.
No. We're not talking about the study. Let's talk briefly about that whole construction of studies, because I think I think that's a really important thing to understand, which is when you get into randomized controlled trials and statistical significance and all of those unbelievably complicated statistical numbering kind of gobbledygook, it is really easy to lie your ass off. And I never thought that, because we were trained in medical school that randomized controlled trials are the gold standard for everything. But what we learned, especially from Harvey Risch, who has committed his entire life to this, to epidemiology, is they're the easiest way to lie. Because, the trial looks big, but it actually isn't. The way it's powered for this, the numbers isn't exactly what it needs to be. And that stuff, unless you really, really understand it deeply, people just get completely lost in the noise. I think what V's saying is you can have small trials with overwhelming evidence that something works, and that's actually been looked at. And usually that's correct.
Yes.
When that graduates to a RTC and they spend a bunch of money on it, those kind of clinical intuition.
Usually they follow the same pattern.
Yes. If you follow clinical intuition, it's often correct. It's more often correct than it's not correct. So the experience of a experienced clinician that sees tons of things and they see trends, they're usually correct.
Yep.
And so that's where the absolute total smokescreen of BS happens, because we may be seeing things clinically that we really are very confident about. And then somebody comes out and says, there's no evidence of whatever we're seeing because no one studied it. And that's what it means by no evidence. It's just like saying, putting a 44 Magnum to your head and pulling the trigger. There's no evidence that causes death, because there's no evidence that causes death because no one has studied it. It causes death. Trust me, don't try that out. And that's the point, is that there's common sense, there's randomized controlled trials, there's really good retrospective data, there's tons of different kinds of data. And if you're a drug company that can control the flow of RCTs, of course, that's the only thing you're going to want to trust, because you control it. And that's the problem. And we saw that in the last 4 years with physicians throwing whatever they could at COVID, getting some successes, and then they come out and they say there's no evidence. Yeah. It's like, well, because you never studied it.
All right, let's wrap that one up. Put a bow on it.
Right, but I was being nice.
Time's up. Yeah.
I was being nice.
Well, speaking of being nice,
I wasn't even making jokes about yoga pants.
Speaking of being nice, and the reason Tim's nice is because his life was changed when he read the book. Was supposed to be changed when you read the book Unoffendable. And speaking of Unoffendable, our guest on the podcast that drops tomorrow is Brant Hansen, who has another wonderful book out that we talk about, which is Life is Hard, God is Good, Let's Dance. He's such a joy to have on the show. He's so fun. And so I hope you listen to that episode with him tomorrow. We have to go visit him because he is living on the other coast of Florida nearby. But Brant is super funny. His sense of humor, I love it. And he's always filled with wisdom and great stories. So that's a really good read. Pick it up, listen tomorrow, and he'll talk all about it.
No, it's great. Like every time I talk to him, I'm like, I want to be a better person. Somehow I sadly fail at that.
Well, maybe you should go hang out with him more often.
Over at Brant's. Geez, Brant, what do you like on Tito's? You're even less offendable.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, no, he's great.
And so I wanted to also just give a little shout out to our friend Judy again. We mentioned her in the newsletter last week, and I talked to her. She totally appreciated that, and also having any of you think of her, pray for her, just send up positive thoughts after her surgery. She's doing well. She's on the way home, and she is a rock star. She is like my inspiration because I don't know, she can do hip replacements and knee replacements better than me, but she is a wonderful lady and very pleasant to be around. She was great to work with and always a joy. So she's doing great. So we're glad you're doing well, Judy. Also, I was going to mention.
You have to answer questions.
I was going to mention someone else. So, hi, Joe. She is here.
We are in Texas because
Nice
our
to see
lovely
you.
daughter is graduating this weekend from the University of Texas. Hook 'em horns. Hook 'em horns.
I forgot to bring my shirt. I didn't even think to wear it.
That's right.
I could have been wearing that with the. There you go. Just have to go get one again tomorrow.
Oh,
If my clothes don't make it.
I'm sure.
So we're here.
I'm sure at UT there'll be no Longhorns shit for us.
So
to
we're
buy.
here for college graduation. I think the kids are done with school for a while. What do you think?
I don't care if they're done for school. They're done with us paying for school. So that's the same. As far as I'm concerned, that's exactly the same
So
thing.
we had this conversation at dinner tonight because Olivia didn't know this, but I'm the only one in the family that does not have
A bachelor's
4-year bachelor's degree. I do not have a bachelor's degree
Wow.
at all.
Well, you have a doctorate.
I do, but I don't have a bachelor's in anything. Just
Wow.
taking care of this bachelor here.
Yeah.
A degree in housewifery. Yeah, no bachelor's degree for me. It's a mystery that I will let you all ponder on how that happened, how I got into medical school with no degree.
Well, there's medical schools where you could get into with no degree.
Well, you're just like last week. You just
Well, but that's the obvious answer.
No,
How did I get
I
into
said
medical
how-
school with no degree?
I said they have
Well, the answer is there's medical schools that you can get into with no degree, or I blew the dean. Like, what are the options?
well,
There's only two.
maybe I'm cousins with Doogie Howser.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I wrote
yeah.
an essay.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I know.
Come on, you just know fun. Take the
It's like-
fun out of my fun.
That's all changed. I don't think there's a single medical school in North America you can get into without an undergrad degree anymore.
Well, maybe I didn't go to school in
Oh,
America.
good Lord. You did. You in North America.
I'm playing your game back. It's not very fun, is it?
It's like,
Shoes on the other
you know,
foot.
I try my best to be good, and of course, I had to bring up blowing the dean.
Well,
I
And we just
try
talked-
and I try
and we
and
just
I try and
talked
I
about- we
fail.
just talked about Brent Hansen being an inspiration, and I'm glad he's not watching. He would be sadly disappointed. Lubbock, you're from, we've got a listener, viewer, I should say, from Lubbock. Awesome. How far away is that? Well, nobody in the room
We know
here,
nothing.
sure?
It's Texas. It's really far.
Let me put it.
Yes, Tim is a fun sucker. Fun sucker. All right. He's the fun sucker. Enough said. All right. So we've got a plug in for the show for this week. And any other shout outs or things you want to bring up before we cut this
Well,
show a little shorter than
I think
usual?
we're going to do an episode on the 3 little letter abbreviations for airports, but I'm going to probably save that. I'm obsessed with it. and it doesn't. Oh, just leave it at that'll be a teaser for later because.
And I'll see if I can wrangle the medical
Well,
connection
yes,
to
I
that.
think we should do an entire segment on abbreviations and how completely insane they are, because nothing has more insane abbreviations than medicine, and they all kind of rhyme, and then you have no idea what you're at. It's an issue, and medicine has been trying to work through this for several decades because EKG, ECG, it's the same thing. Coracoid process, coronoid process, totally different parts of the body. Like there's all this weirdness with nomenclature and abbreviations. So they try to expunge
but now we have patients
abbreviations out of medicine.
using like abbreviations for diseases. They're on TV and I'm like, I don't even know what that stands
Well,
for.
no,
Because we never used to abbreviate it.
I was just going to say that.
We just used to call it what it was. And now it's like, I have MTSB. And I'm like, what the heck
No,
is
the
that?
drug companies have completely overtaken this by basically making up diseases and giving them short names so that they can put www, look up.
Yeah. What's the new one? That's
dippy-doodleitis of the blowhole,
it's
right? And it's ddjp.com.
It's the new myocardial dysfunction one. That's MCT something.
Well, hypertrophic.
Yeah. No. Anyway, there's
Idiopathic hypertrophic
no,
subaortic
no,
stenosis.
No.
Idiopathic subaortic.
You're on the wrong train. Anyway, all right. Go Oilers. Now, actually, we say go Florida. We're cheering for the Panthers
now.
Since my team is out.
Sadly. My team wasn't even in. But honest to God,
and who's
though,
your team? You have to tell.
The Calgary Flames. But I cannot. This is so painful. The Oilers and the Canucks are playing each other. And honestly, it's like if Satan played Beelzebub. Can they both please lose? They can't. One has to win. It cannot be the Canucks. I don't care. It cannot. As much as I have
I thought
always.
it was Montreal that you didn't like.
No, I don't. There's lots of things I don't like in hockey, and Montreal is one of them. But Vancouver's probably number one now. And I will 100%.
How can you hate a team? It's a thing. How can you hate a hockey team?
It's not a thing.
It is.
It's laundry. You've heard the Jerry Seinfeld about that, right? He goes, you cheer for this team, and then the guy you hate on the other team gets traded to your team, and now you like him
Exactly.
because he's wearing the jersey you like. So really, you're just cheering for laundry. So yes,
that's what
I hate the Montreal Canadian laundry.
Joe says they're coming for you,
and I hate the Canuck laundry, and I really despise the Oilers. But when it's Oilers and Canucks, I'm 100% going for the Oilers. I lived in Edmonton for a couple years. I have some very good friends in Edmonton.
Cheer for the Oilers.
No, I never
did.
You
did. No, and don't.
I cheered for for like once. No,
I call BS.
Never.
Yes, you have.
No.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've forgotten that part. What part of your
I never
brain
cheered,
forgot that?
I never cheered for the Oilers. Never. I mean, like, yes, if Jeffrey Dahmer was playing like Ted Bundy, I might have sided with Ted Bundy. I never cheered for him. Siding and cheering is entirely different. They're two totally different things.
Busted.
You got to watch hockey.
He is busted.
You have to pick a side.
Yeah. You.
No, I've never cheered. I've never gone, oh, the Oilers are. I'm going to go cheer for the Oilers. Then I'm going to go step on some kittens or something.
Well,
no.
He used to do horrible things to our kittens. Well, let's just say. Like wad them up into little round balls and bowl them down the hardwood floor. He didn't torture kittens.
No, we have a third party here. And she's like, no, the kittens loved it. They were like little kitten bowling balls. Like what's wrong with kitten bowling balls?
It's like they
loved it.
They were going on a slippery slide. Oh yeah, sure they loved it. The puppies. Maybe.
They would literally run back to you for more.
They'd run back. They'd literally run back like the bowling ball dispenser thing. And they'd run back, and then I'd wad them and wee.
I think you had more fun than the kittens did.
Well, probably.
Anyway.
It's amazing.
Children at play.
Hey, you get kittens drunk, they'll do anything. Joe tries to make
I
just because we lived.
did. It was after that, and I'm like, how? I thought you despised
No.
that team. How are you cheering for them?
Nope, nope,
Yeah,
nope,
you.
nope, 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 nope.
Well, we'll argue about that.
No,
Day.
that's
We're
like
both in
that's
the
like
nursing
saying
home.
that's like watching. That's like I was watching the Tom Brady, roast, and you go, "Wow, Tom, dude, he's like 45 years old. He's a handsome man." That doesn't mean you're gay. It means that you have eyes, and Tom's a handsome man because objectively, he's a handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
If the Oilers are playing the Montreal
and
Canadiens, I will cheer for the Oilers. I almost got kicked like out of our North Carolina house when we were kiteboarding because of my demonstrable hatred for the Oilers when they played the Flames 2 years ago. And I literally had to go to bed.
What's going to happen if that's happening again?
Well, it won't, because the Flames are long out. Like, they didn't make the playoffs.
Sorry, I was thinking Edmonton.
I literally had to get up the next morning and apologize to people because I was so obnoxious. I can't imagine.
But he's now read unoffendable.
Baby steps.
Exactly.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Small changes. That's right. The little ones.
Over time,
make a big difference. Just what my coach, Mel Robbins, is saying. Side note, I'm doing a thing with Mel Robbins. It's super fun program. And yeah, she would just say, clear, concise, consistent steps make all the difference.
Yep.
So there you go.
They do.
All right. We're wrapping this up so that we can let you all go from this nonsense, grab some Tito's, enjoy your week. We will try to post some pics, probably minimal, of the family this time.
Hopefully we'll post pics of our luggage showing up. That would be awesome.
That would be. And I think another family member, one doesn't want to be photographed. The other one, I think, is trying to remain undercover for work. And that's all I'll say.
All right.
The rest of this nonsense is on Tim and I. Till next time, see you guys later.